Welcome to the Farmer's Beat. This week we have a guest episode by our friends at California Certified Organic Farmers Foundation, or CCOF Foundation. Thanks for tuning in, and now let's hear the story they have to share this week.
Welcome to Radio Organic, the podcast dedicated to unearthing inspired ideas in organic food and agriculture. We bring professionals from the field together for real-life discussions about the practical techniques to help your business thrive. Brought to you by CCOF, Radio Organic is the conversation about today's organic world.
Hi, my name's Jamie Collins. I'm an organic farmer, marketing consultant, and the host of today's podcast. This is episode 3 of a 4-part series on direct marketing strategies for organic farmers, part of the CCOF Foundation's Organic Training Institute. You can find more episodes and resources at ccof.org/OTI. Today, we're speaking with Patricia Rodríguez of Rodríguez Farms. Patricia and her husband, Rosario, farm organic strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries on 120 acres split between Watsonville and Castroville in the Monterey Bay region of California. Steadfast vendors of the San Francisco Bay Area farmers market scene, they sell at more than 50 markets a week at the height of their season. The couple started farming in 1991 with 3 acres of strawberries, and by 2004, they certified their farm organic due to the customers' demands. Today, we'll hear how Rodríguez Farm utilized organic as a strategy to strengthen their marketing at farmers markets, as well as explore the marketing techniques they've used to maintain a strong farmers market customer base for 30 years. Patricia, thanks so much for joining us at Radio Organic. It's really great to have you with us today. I'm familiar with your berries from the farmers market, and I know they're just very delicious. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. Very happy to join you today.
Great. So I know today we're going to talk about how you converted to organic due to customer demand. Can you tell us a little more about how that came about, please?
Yes, we started in 1991, and, back then, people, I feel, didn't have a lot of information or know a lot about, differences between organic, conventional products, and getting, close to the 2000 year, more and more people would ask. And my husband and I, had been farmers and working in farms for many years, and we weren't familiar with it either. So just slowly, as it started becoming almost like a trend and people wanted to buy organic, we had established a customer base, and every season it seemed like more and more they were not only asking, but more like, just demanding or telling us, we really want to buy organic, especially, us with strawberries. They're one of the fruits that are considered to maybe retain more of the chemicals or, whatever you use that's not organic. So they were very concerned. And it came to the point where they said, if you don't have organic, then, we're not going to be buying from you anymore. We're going to, look for organic berries. So to us, that was the signal that, okay, either we start looking into this and grow organic, or it looks like, we're going to lose our business. We were not going to be able to, sell berries to our customers anymore.
Yeah, I know that people are very concerned about chemicals on their food, especially with berries. So what was the transition process like for you, and how long did it take you to transition all of your ground?
The transition was difficult because we were both working long hours, and it was just hard to find the time to do research or find where to start doing this transition. So it took us, a while because we did it in, baby steps. And then once we started with the process, we really didn't know how to do this. So it took years, I want to say at least 5 years for us to just try and test different organic products. And for the most part, they weren't working. So I want to say that, those first 5 years into the transition, our berries were not the quality or the flavor we wanted them to be. And it took us 10 years total time to transition all of the ground. So what we would do is that, we rotate. So the crop that we were rotating, we wouldn't use any chemicals on it, and we waited the 3 years. So overall, it was a long transition. It was difficult. And halfway through, we felt like we might not go on with it just because it wasn't working for us. We weren't producing the quality. We weren't producing, the amount of berries we needed to make a profit. So we almost gave up halfway, but then we just felt we had already invested so much that we keep going a little bit longer. And I think that's when, we started doing better. And then everything kind of turned where we finally knew what we were doing, and just everything got better. And then that made us, just keep going until, we made it work.
Okay, great. I guess I'm curious too, did you use organic consultants to help you transition?
No, we didn't. And, that's something that I know that at the time we didn't know we could do that. And now, there's so many resources, and I'm happy to see. But unfortunately, I think it was on our end, not taking the time, just being so busy at the farm and not looking or reaching out, to see what resources we had.
Right. So also, what were the benefits too during the transition process? Was it all difficult, or were there some benefits that you noticed transitioning to organic?
Well, I think most of it was difficult and expensive, just because we needed to make sure we cleaned equipment. So we realized that it was easier to buy separate equipment so we wouldn't be, contaminating. So I think on our end, just because we didn't, reach out or have a lot of help with the transition, it was difficult financially in the farming part. But then on the sales part, it was a benefit, because when our customers started seeing and we started talking about them, we're doing this transition, they stayed with us. And that really helped, having the sales and having our, that customer base, keep buying from us. That really helped us, get through.
Okay. So I'm curious, what rotation system did you figure out worked well for your organic strawberries? And did you include vegetables in your rotation, or what was your rotation?
We have tried vegetables and different things, but up until now, my husband's the farmer, but he feels that the fava bean, or now the barley, is what he uses for rotation. What he found is that some of the vegetables or some other rotation crops take or make changes in the soil or leave certain residue that is not beneficial for strawberries. So the strawberries are different than other crops that require a rotation. And I guess in a sense, more delicate, where some other crops that you may use may not be a benefit for strawberries.
That's really interesting. I know that a lot of organic strawberry producers, they rotate with vegetable growers and often sublease their land to keep their costs down. So could you speak to the profitability of your farming system if you're not rotating with vegetables and you're cover cropping between your berry crops?
Well, I know on our end, I think since the beginning, because we got used to it, that, it was expensive for us. And for the beginning part of it, we weren't making a profit. So I think that helped us really learn how to make the best or use the best out of the profit that we do get, in terms of investing more, where in this situation, for example, if we grew vegetables or rotated with a vegetable grower, that might give us income. But then if it's going to hurt the quality of the berry, then we find that it's at the end, it's not a benefit to us. So it's better for us to maybe not make enough money in leasing, the land to someone else, or producing something that's going to make money. But then for us, it's more important, to have the quality of the soil, which in turn will make a better quality berry for us.
I'm also curious too, maybe because you sell a lot of your strawberries direct at farmers markets and less to wholesale. Do you think that made it a little easier for you to recoup the costs?
Yes, definitely. That's a huge difference, because when you have a broker, or when you sell through someone else, the profit is always going to be a lot less. So for us, fortunately, we're able to do this, because of the direct marketing.
So it does sound like your customers stood by you during the transition to organic. And but how did you keep your customers while you were going through the trials of growing a good tasting berry?
Yeah, that's something, we've always been thankful, and we always build to the customers, because a lot of times, for many years, we didn't like the product. And they still bought it just because, they were faithful to that. Okay, you're trying your best. And obviously, we lost some customers, but enough stayed to help us, get through this period of transition.
I'm sure they still tasted really good, but I know as a farmer, and I'm a farmer too, that I'm really picky about the flavor and the way things are and how it comes off, but I'm sure they still tasted really good. So, Patricia, what draws your customers to buy your berries?
Well, overall, I think it's the quality, the flavor of the berry, and that it has a good shelf life because of the quality. And then during these 30 years, we've really established a relationship with our customers. So I think a lot of them, like to support family farms, and especially when they get to know you as a family.
So I know increased production costs are one common concern of farmers looking to transition to organic. So how did the benefits of organic certification and production outweigh the costs for you?
Well, again, I think it comes back to what I just mentioned, that, for example, sometimes when you cut corners or you try to make more money, but if at the end that's going to hurt, the quality of your product, then when you're out there competing, you're familiar with farmers markets, and, we're not the only berry people out there. So, people try samples, or, they buy from different growers. And that's what makes the difference, that if you don't cut corners and at the end get the quality that you are looking for, then that's what's going to make the difference, when you take them out, for direct marketing, where people are going to taste the difference. And also it makes a difference in the shelf life of the product as well.
So the shelf life, so how much longer do you think an organic berry, lasts compared to a conventional berry?
I want to say at least 3 or 4 more days. For organic berries, I store them myself and they'll be fresh for a week. Where with a conventional, after 3-4 days, you start noticing they start becoming watery or molding.
That's interesting. So I know that transitioning to organic has helped you run a successful farm for 30 years or more, and also keep your strong customer base and a market presence. So what changes at the farmers markets have you seen over the years since you've been there so long?
What I see is that more and more farmers are learning how to grow organic well. So there's more competition. There's more people out there with quality fruit. So it just makes us really every year look for the best products and just do more research into, what we can do to improve or, stay on top of, producing the best berry we can.
So that being said, what changes have you made to maintain and increase your sales, as you've learned and researched?
Well, what we've done is we've changed our irrigation process. And then we learned that, nitrogen is very important. We've added more nitrogen. Every year, there's more research and there's more information for us, like from our PCA, that, help us improve, what we're doing.
Well, it's really great to see how far you've come. And where do you see your farm going in the future?
Well, I think what I see is that we're just going to continue doing what we have so far because it's worked. And like I say, it's just like not cutting corners and doing the best we can, for our soil, which in turn is going to, produce the best quality berry that we can have. And that's just by learning and continuing to just do the research and follow the PCA recommendations with new things that come up every year and trying it, because not everything works. Sometimes, we're told, oh, this is better, and we try it and it's not. So I think just continuing to work with the soil and testing everything and then going by that to make sure that we make the right choices, for what we're doing.
Well, to wrap things up, what advice can you give new organic farmers that are starting out today?
Well, I think my advice would be is that something I would do different is to go out to the different certifier organizations and just the different resources that are out there, because there's a lot more. And, there's so much now where you don't have to struggle as much as we did. And I guess overall, if you're doing this, then, to do it right in terms of, taking care of the soil and doing the best you can, because that's what's going to make the difference when you're out there with your product and people taste it, that it'll be different and it'll be better.
That being said, do you have any recommendations or specific resources to support transitioning organic farmers?
I know there's loans. I know that now that was something that was difficult for us. We didn't qualify, or we didn't know of loans that we could get. There's grants, and the different organic certifiers have a lot of resources as well to guide you, or, take you step by step through, many different things that are needed to start.
Well, that's great. So interesting to talk to you today, and I really appreciate your time, Patricia. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. You do as well.
Thank you for listening to Radio Organic, and special thanks to Community Alliance with Family Farmers and the Farmers Beat for helping us kick off this pilot series. Join us next time for a conversation with Berta Magana of Magana Farm and Tanya Zuniga of Kitchen Table Advisors to discover how selling directly to consumers strengthen Magana's farm business and community. If you have suggestions for future episodes, follow the feedback link in the podcast description or email CCOF Foundation@ccof.org.
Radio Organic is a production of the CCOF Foundation. Guided by the wisdom of its farming roots, the CCOF Foundation unites the organic community to advance organic agriculture, offering intentional education, financial support, and growth opportunities for organic professionals. Learn more at ccof.org/foundation.